Hello ladies and gentlemen, Gabes here. This is the tank guide for Normal and Heroic Gruul. And overall, this fight is fairly simple. Tanking it is not too complicated, you just have to be very on the ball with tank swaps between you and your tanking partner. I'd also like to thank my buddy Nefani for giving me the footage you see here, because unfortunately my fight footage got corrupted on this fight. So check out her Death Knight streams at the bottom right there if you want some more of that action. Now, overall positioning for the raid is fairly simple. So if you're currently tanking the boss, you will be by yourself in front. But if you're not tanking the boss, you do not want to be on top of the other tank person. So the off tank at the time can just be in either of the raid positions in the back right or back left of Gruul. But generally speaking, you'll just be in a triangle setup with the current tank in front and then the two raid groups on either side in the back right or back left respectively. Now, the most important mechanic for this encounter for tanking is Inferno Slice. And this occurs about every 17 to 18 seconds, and it has a 2-second cast time. When it finishes casting, it will hit the current tank, so whichever tank has threat at the time, and anyone that is near that tank in a pretty large cone radius. So you can see the graphic, it's pretty huge. The damage it deals is very significant. It's heavy fire damage, but it's split among all players that are hit. So you've seen this similar type of mechanic before, a cleave, split attack. In addition to that, however, it also hits the current tank at the time with a different ability called Inferno Strike. And this is a much higher single target hit that should be mitigated. You can use personal mitigation or cooldown to help mitigate that when you are taking the slice attack. Generally speaking, the way to handle Inferno Slice is to go up to 3 stacks of the Inferno Slice debuff on one tank and then do a tank swap to the other tank. At that point, that other tank will go up to 3 stacks and this process repeats. So let's take a look at the animation here, and you can see the sort of diagram of how this plays out. So here's the basic tank pattern for handling Inferno Slice. You got your 3 groups. So we've got the front position here at the top for tanks. Got group alpha in the bottom left, half the raid, and then the other half is in group beta, the bottom right. So at the beginning of the fight, obviously, both tanks A and tank B have 0 stacks of slice. And so you have tank A standing in front here around the front position, and tank B is in the bottom left at group alpha position. Now, during the first Inferno Slice, in the 2-second cast period, tank B will taunt and have Inferno Slice come down here. So Slice is going to hit tank B and group alpha A, and each of these party members will have 1 stack. Now immediately, tank A taunts back off of tank B, so that after the slice hits, there aren't any incidental melee hits hitting players stacked up in group A. So tank A now has threat again, and meanwhile, tank B makes his way or her way across to group B, or group beta, and stays in this position until the next Inferno Slice occurs. And once again, Inferno Slice number 2 occurs. Tank B will taunt during the cast. Slice will hit tank B, giving tank B 2 stacks, and group beta raid members will also get 1 stack. Then once again, tank A taunts back immediately, and just like before, tank B moves back to group alpha. And then the final round of this will occur. The third Inferno Slice, tank B taunts, giving tank B 3 stacks of the slice debuff, but because group alpha skipped around, their stacks have dropped, and so they only have 1 stack now. Now from this point, once tank B has a 3rd stack of slice, tank A doesn't taunt back. Instead, tank B moves to the front, and while tank B is moving up front, tank A is moving down. Tank A needs to make sure that their position is in the raid position that didn't take the last slice. So in this case, since A took it last, tank B will position for group beta, and meanwhile tank B is up front holding the boss and tanking. From this point forward, the entire process just repeats, except tank A is doing all the slice taunting mid-cast and tank B is taunting back afterwards. And you can just repeat this process over and over throughout the remainder of the fight. Just remembering that 3 stacks is the key number for the tank to retain threat and move up front to tank the boss. Now the other tank mechanic is overwhelming blows. And the critical thing here is that as long as the current tank that's getting attacked is not standing near anyone else in the raid, even the other tank, this will only hit that current tank. It is a stacking debuff, just like the Slice dot, but if you manage tank swaps based around the 3 stack of Inferno Slice, you do not need to think about the management of overwhelming blows. So all that matters is that you don't stand near other players, because overwhelming blows is also a cleave attack, but it's very frequent, and you don't want anyone except the current tank to get hit by it. The final thing you may need to watch out for as a tank is overhead smash, and in conjunction with that, the Rampage phase. So overhead smash will target random players in the raid, and there you can see it there. It will just do a smash, which is just a straight line attack. You have a few seconds to sidestep to get out of it, so just make sure, just along with other raid members, that you sidestep it. And as a tank, if you're getting ready to get Inferno Slice, make sure that you move with the majority of the raid group when they sidestep the smash in that position. This is because if a slice occurs just after a smash and you taunt for it, you want to make sure that you are stacked up with the other raid members so that the slice is mitigated by everyone. Because if everyone spreads out or you go the wrong direction, this could be a real problem. But otherwise, it's pretty simple to do. The Rampage phase is a 30-second period in which he will chain cast the smashes. And during this time, he is not tanked. He doesn't attack the tank at the time. So you're free to just sidestep those as you normally would. Just be ready to dodge them quickly, because during the Rampage, the cast time is much shorter. So that's about it. The tank guide is actually fairly simple for both normal and heroic Gruul. The main thing is managing those Inferno Slice, stacks, and positioning due to tank swaps. If you can do that properly with you and your tank partner, things will go very smoothly for the raid as a whole, because really the key is managing those and dealing with the healing requirement. So, as always, thanks for watching, good luck, and I'll see you next time. You know, my girlfriend says that subscribing to get more tank videos is pretty cool. So you should totally do that. Well, I mean, if I had a girlfriend, I'm sure she would say that, but forever alone.